If you think about language, one of the terms you hear is sentence all the time, but you also once in a while hear the term clause. And then once you see some definition of clause, instead of getting some closure and clarification, you might actually get more confused. So let me compare sentences and clauses today. First thing, sentences are made up of clauses. Clauses are not made up of sentences. It means that sentence is a higher level unit than clause. Basically, in syntax, there is a simple model. It's called a 5-level hierarchy. Sentences are made up of clauses. Clauses are made up of phrases. Phrases are made up of words, and words are made up of morphemes. A clause is a unit of grammatical organization that is smaller than a sentence, but larger than a phrase. There's two types of clause. It's either dependent clause or independent clause. It kind of tells you what it does in the sense that an independent clause can stand alone because its meaning is complete. A dependent clause, on the other hand, cannot stand on its own, cannot stand alone. I said an independent clause can stand alone because it is complete. For example, you can have an ice cream. And because it can stand on its own, it is also a sentence. So here we have a sentence that is made up of an independent clause. If you have a sentence that is made up of only one clause, it's called a simple sentence. So if you have a simple sentence, it's really not possible to tell the difference between a clause and the sentence because the clause is the sentence. But I told you that a dependent clause cannot stand on its own after you clean your plate. You see, if you get rid of the word after, the sentence can stand on its own, but this clause includes the word after. It's a dependent clause. So why can it not stand on its own? Because its meaning is not complete. You expect something else to be there, and you just want to connect it to something else to make sense of it or make full sense of it. So what do you do? In order to complete a dependent clause, you need to have an independent clause. You can have an ice cream after you clean your plate. Here I have an independent clause plus a dependent clause, which gives me a complex sentence. A clause has a subject and a predicate. Predicate is basically the verb phrase. It has a verb that has a tense and subject and perhaps some modifiers. The predicate is just the verb. When you say Jack is hungry is a predicate which is made up of a verb and an adjective phrase. When you say a dog bit the neighbor, so bit the neighbor is a verb phrase which consists of a verb and a noun phrase. Lydia locked her laptop in a secure drawer. All of these together are the predicate. So here, these words that modify the verb are called modifiers. So basically, a predicate is the verb plus any modifier, and any could be 0. So these are independent clauses, so they're also sentences. They're simple sentences. But now I'm going to add a conjunction before them, like even words like when, if, you see. And then once you add a conjunction, you turn them into dependent clauses. A sentence consists of at least one independent clause. A sentence can stand on its own because its meaning is complete. A simple sentence consists of one independent clause only. The birds are chirping. A compound sentence consists of 2 or more independent clauses. So if you just say, I could drive, it's an independent clause, it's complete, it can be a simple sentence. If you say he could read maps, it can stand alone, it's independent clause, it's a simple sentence. But you can combine 2 simple sentences and create a compound sentence, not a complex sentence. But what is a complex sentence? A complex sentence consists of an independent clause and a dependent clause.